Hello everyone. So friends, in our previous lecture we saw that how we can perform stubbing using when along with then return and do return along with when. And also friends, we saw that in the first approach when we used when, inside this when method we provided book repository dot find book by book id method with an argument. But when we used do return, inside when we simply provided the mock object and we actually called the method on whatever was written from the when. So friends, this is the slight difference between the two approaches. So what happens if we do something like this? Let's say by mistakenly, if I simply remove this part and if I use it here in both the approaches. So here you can see the code compiled properly. But if I run the test case now, so friends, here you can see the test case got failed and it gave an exception org.mockito.exceptions.misusing and the name of the exception is unfinished stubbing exception. So what Mockito is telling us that here you haven't finished the stubbing, and it also tells us the unfinished stubbing detected here. So it also gives the line number. So if I click it here, it takes me to this line. And also give an example that then return may be missing. So here you can see it says that examples of correct stubbing is when mock is okay, then return true, and some other cases which we will be discussing in our upcoming lectures. And it also gives the hints that missing then return and some other hints saying that you are trying to stub a final method which is not supported. So friends, in Mockito you cannot stub a final method. So this is one of the limitations. And it also gives some other hints which we will be discussing in our upcoming lectures. So friends, here you can see this when and this when are two different methods. So here I will just revert it back. And if I uncomment this part, so here you can see that this when method has a return type of ongoing stubbing. This. And this method is present in org.mockito.mockito class. And this when method has a different return type and it is present in. So if I go to it, you can see that it takes only a mock object and it is present in the stubber class provided by Mockito for the stubbing. So friends, we need to be careful while using when then return and do return with when, because it looks like they are the same method but they are actually not. So one method takes a method which we actually want to stub, another takes the mock, and whatever is written on the top of that we call this method which we want to stub. So friends, this was slightly difference between the two approaches. And in this lecture we saw a very common exception, unfinished stubbing exception. I hope you like this video. Thanks, have a nice day.